Revealed. Discover the divine calling for your life. What supernatural forces keep you away? In the heart of a quaint English village, where time seemed to stand still, Emma faced a spiritual storm brewing within her soul. As she gathered her small class of children in the local church school each morning, she could feel the whispers of Saint Joseph, the village's beloved patron saint, sending waves of hope through her veins. There, amidst the fluttering pages of their hymnals, she sensed him guiding her thoughts, speaking secrets of faith and purpose that felt just out of reach. "Let us pray," Emma said, her voice steady despite the quakes dancing in her heart. The children bowed their heads, and the air shimmered with sacred expectancy. Just then, a beam of sunlight streamed through the stained glass, illuminating the room in a soft, earthly glow. A feeling swept over her, an inexplicable warmth, as if the heavens were embracing her longing, reminding her of her dream to be a mission worker. Yet with each prayer, the weight of her mother's ill health cast a shadow darker than the deepest winter night. More than once, Emma found herself staring into the distance, seeking solace, though silence echoed back at her. Doubts crept in like thick fog, making her question whether she was truly called to serve, or merely deluding herself. Then came the community's latest prayer service, and in a moment of desperation, Emma sought out a charismatic pastor from the neighboring town, renowned for his miraculous prayers. She hoped for healing, both for her mother and herself. But when the pastor's fervent prayers fell silent, the candle of her faith flickered dangerously low. "God, where are you?" Emma cried silently, feeling distant from the divine presence she once knew. Was her calling simply a cruel joke? Would she spend her life yearning for something far beyond her grasp? Before she could spiral further into despair, the village experienced a shocking turn of events. An innocent child went missing. The atmosphere thickened with fear, wrapping its icy fingers around every heart. But in the depths of this crisis, Emma felt an awakening. A powerful urge surged through her, calling her to rally the villagers, to surrender her fears, and entreat the heavens for guidance. Heart-pounding, she raised her voice, resonating through the cobbled streets, a beacon of hope amid calamity. "Let us pray," she declared with fervor, and the community came alive. As they bowed their heads in unison, a tangible energy filled the air, lifting despair like a mist. Emma felt a wave of peace wash over her, illuminating her long-dormant faith. Suddenly, a radiant light enveloped their midst. Whispers of encouragement filled the air, a gentle nudge, the presence of Saint Joseph, reassuring her that she was indeed chosen. Miracles began to unfold, not only in her mother's slight recovery, but in the faces turned upwards in awe. Hope was rekindling in the hearts of all gathered. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can, leave a like. It really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As Emma stepped forward, her spirit revitalized. She couldn't shake the feeling that something greater was at play, a divine orchestration guiding her past doubts towards a profound truth. But as the miracles unfolded around her, Emma stood at a crossroads, grappling with a single question. What was her true purpose? The weight of her family, her calling, and her community loomed large, and in that lingering moment, she felt a shift. Her journey was only just beginning. What would this divine mystery reveal next? As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting hues of gold and crimson over the village, a quiet stillness hung in the air. Emma felt it deep within her. The weight of anticipation pressed upon her shoulders. A divine calling lingered like a warm breeze, yet fear wrapped its icy fingers around her heart once more. The community gathered outside the church, murmurs of hope intertwined with the scent of freshly baked bread from Mrs. Whitcomb's oven. Children laughed, their giggles threading through the otherwise heavy atmosphere. They played under the watchful gaze of the village, as if reminding everyone of the innocence that still existed amidst fear. All the while, Emma stood apart, the echoes of her prayers lingering in her mind. She could feel the energy of those prayers reverberating around her, urging her to act, to believe. "Emma," a voice broke through her reverie.
Mary, a friend and devoted parishioner, approached with urgency in her eyes. "Have you heard? They found a clue about the missing child." Emma's heart raced, and she leaned in, listening intently as Mary recounted the event, her words painting images of hope amidst dread. "A scarf, a child's scarf. It was found near the river," Mary said, her breath quickening. "The villagers are searching that area now. We need to gather everyone to pray for strength and guidance." Emma felt a surge of instinctual strength. It was as if Saint Joseph himself prompted her to lead once more. "Let us hold a vigil tonight," she urged, her own voice surprising her with her fervor. "We will pray together, as one." The response was immediate. People began to gather, their faith rekindled. A gentle excitement coursed through the crowd. As dusk enveloped the village, shadows danced along the cobbled streets, but a different light filled Emma's heart. She stood before them, her eyes bright, filled with a new purpose. "Tonight, we pray for the child."
"For all lost souls, for each of us," she called out, the weight of her words echoing against the brick walls of the old church. As they settled into a solemn circle, Emma felt every heartbeat resonate like a shared drumbeat of faith. The prayers rose high, weaving a tapestry of supplication and hope. Emma's heart swelled with the spirit of the community, joined in divine purpose. In those moments, she caught glimpses of something transcendent. Each whispered prayer blended with the collective yearning for miracles. A hush fell over them, save for the harmonious choir of their breaths. It was in that stillness a flickering light appeared, like a distant star breaking the veil of night. Emma grasped the hands of those beside her, uniting them further as she surrendered her own fears and doubts, surrendering to the calling that beckoned from the depths of her soul. "Let us not lose faith," she cried, her voice rising above the soft sounds of the night. "We are one family, united in love and prayer. Together, we will find our way." Each word was a seed, planted in the soil of collective hope, awaiting the warmth of divine providence. As the prayers reached a crescendo, a sense of calm enveloped the gathering. Emma's gaze drifted upward, and she felt that indescribable warmth again. Just then, a slight rustle came from the tree line nearby, causing heads to turn. Emma's heart skipped. Had the divine answer arrived? Before anyone could speak, a small figure emerged from the shadows, silhouetted against the fading light. The collective breath of the villagers caught in their throats. Emma's heart raced. Was this the moment of answer, or yet another test of faith? In that charged silence, the unknown loomed just beyond the edge of understanding. What would emerge from the depths of darkness? Would hope be realized, or would doubt once again take root? The night held its breath, and so did Emma. The journey ahead demanded more than simple belief. It required an unveiling of the divine pathway woven into their lives. With every heartbeat, Emma sensed the divine mystery waiting to unfold. What revelation awaited as they stepped deeper into the unknown? The figure stepped closer, and as it did, the villagers gasped. Emma squinted through the dusk, straining to see the outline transforming into a familiar shape. It was a child. Her heart leaped, a mixture of hope and fear mixing within her, as she tried to discern who it could be. As the small form emerged further into the light, the unmistakable silhouette unveiled itself. It was Lucy, the missing child. Her hair, a tangled halo, framed a face that seemed both wild and innocent. With wide eyes, Lucy looked around, confusion etching her features. Emma felt her spirit soar. Tears of relief welled as she squeezed the hands of those beside her. "Lucy," she called, her voice a melodic blend of joy and urgency, breaking the spell of silence hanging over the vigil.
The child turned towards Emma, recognition dawning like the rise of dawn breaking through night. "Oh, Emma, I got lost," Lucy stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. The village surged towards her, abandoning their circles of prayer. Parents enveloped children, friends clasped hands in gratitude, their murmurs stitching a collective story of hope renewed. Yet, as the jubilation flooded in, a sense of unease lingered in Emma's heart. How had Lucy gone missing? What had she encountered in those dark hours? The question danced on the edge of her mind, urging her to dig deeper into the mystery. "Lucy, my dear," she crouched to meet the child's gaze. "Can you tell us what happened? Where have you been?" The child nodded hesitantly, her eyes darting momentarily toward the forest's edge. "I wandered. I thought I heard someone calling me." A palpable pause settled among the villagers as the gravity of her words sank in. Emma's heart pounded. Those words echoed the soft whisper of the divine she had felt stir within her. "Someone was calling you?" Emma repeated, gripped with both curiosity and concern. An ethereal chill brushed against her skin, igniting a spark of wisdom. Perhaps this was more than just a simple disappearance. Perhaps a greater lesson lay beneath the surface. "I saw a light," Lucy continued, her voice rising with newfound clarity. A beautiful light. It kept saying my name. It felt warm, but then it faded, and I was scared. The child's face crinkled with the remnants of fear. In that moment, the air hung thick with reverence. A moment of silence enveloped them. Every heart stood still, heavy with the realization that the divine was not just a figment of belief, but a tangible presence in their lives. The villagers began to gather again, drawn together as if by invisible threads. In Emma's chest, the question continued to pulse. What had Lucy experienced? What calling had beckoned her away? Each heartbeat echoed the mystery, begging to be answered. "Let us give thanks," Emma declared, her voice gaining strength once more. "Thanks for Lucy's return, for the light that guided her. No matter what fears we face, we now know we are watched over." Cheers erupted, a chorus of relief and praise filling the air like sweet incense rising to heaven. But in her spirit, Emma knew there were still truths yet undiscovered. The divine call that reached Lucy might still be meant for all of them, urging them towards something greater. As the gathering dispersed, Emma lingered on the edges. She turned her gaze towards the forest where Lucy had wandered, feeling the pull of the unknown beckoning her closer. What lay hidden in the shadows? Was there a path of understanding waiting just beyond the tree line? The night once again held its breath. Emma felt an urgency tugging at her soul. She needed to discover the deeper call, the one that wove through their lives.
As she took a hesitant step towards the woods, a question rose unbidden in her heart. What revelation awaited her in the embrace of that sacred darkness? Emma drew a deep breath, filling her lungs with the cool night air, thick with the scent of damp earth and the lingering whispers of prayer. Each step she took felt like a step into a holy unknown. The moon cast its silver glow on the path ahead, illuminating the way forward, but shrouding the edges in shadow. It seemed to beckon her, not with words, but with an unexplainable presence. "Lucy," she gently urged the little girl, who now stood beside her, eyes wide with both fear and excitement. "Stay close." Lucy nodded, her tiny hand clasped tightly in Emma's. "I want to see the light again," she murmured, her voice a soft tremor. Emma felt a mix of protective wisdom and childlike hope bloom within her heart. "Then together we shall find it," she affirmed, casting a glance back at the village, now mere silhouettes against the illuminated sky. The comforting sounds of laughter and joy faded, replaced by the rustle of leaves and the gentle croon of the night, which seemed to cradle their small adventure. As they approached the forest, the cool air felt charged, as if the trees were caught in an eternal prayer, and the wind sang secrets only their hearts could hear. Each rustling leaf whispered like a long-forgotten hymn that rose from the depths of the earth. There was reverence in this place, a sacredness that begged Emma to listen. "Lucy," Emma's voice dropped to a whisper as the trees shadowed them. "What else did you hear? Do you remember the words it spoke?" Lucy squinted, her brows knitting together as she concentrated. "It told me it was saying there was love, and that I am important," she recalled, her eyes lighting up with the memory. A fire ignited within Emma's spirit. "Important," she echoed, letting the weight of the words settle in her heart. Each person held a purpose, a divine calling intricately woven into the tapestry of life. How often did they forget this simple truth amidst the clamor of existence? Lucy's words drifted like dandelion seeds into Emma's soul, urging her to remember that they were all part of something far greater. The child turned suddenly, pointing to a spot deeper inside the forest where the air shimmered with an ethereal brilliance. "There, I saw it over there." Emma's heart quickened. A flicker of hope intertwined with her growing faith surged forth, daring her to step further into the forest. "Let's go," she encouraged, soothed by Lucy's presence, for in her innocence lay a fierce clarity. As they ventured deeper, the light pulsed like a heartbeat, a rhythm guiding them closer to some divine entanglement. Each step became a surrender to the unknown. The shadows no longer felt ominous, but rather filled with promises yet to be revealed. Suddenly, a deep stillness enveloped them. In the hush, Emma felt a presence, a warmth radiating through the trees.
The air thickened with anticipation, as if the universe held its breath. "Emma," Lucy's voice trembled with an awe-reverent whisper, "do you feel it? The light is calling your name too." With those words, a wave of understanding washed over Emma. This was the call, the same call that had reached Lucy, beckoning her toward love and purpose. But with profound joy came a tinge of anxiety. What responsibilities lay beneath such a call? What might the light reveal? Emma looked at the child beside her, innocence mirrored in Lucy's wide eyes, and she felt the burden of their shared journey.
As the pulsing glow grew brighter, a question ignited in Emma's heart, pulling her ever closer. What divine purpose awaited them deeper in this sacred embrace? Was it just Lucy's revelation, or was the call meant for them all? With a final determined breath, Emma stepped forward into the light, her spirit alight with expectation. What awaited them both in that illuminating glow, only time would tell. As they ventured further into the enchanting light, Emma felt an intoxicating mixture of fear and exhilaration wrapping around her like an embrace. The luminous path widened, revealing a small clearing where the trees seemed to bow in reverence. The radiant glow was not just light, it filled the air with warmth and a gentle hum that was almost melodic. Each note seemed to carry remnants of laughter and love, echoing through the heart of the woods. "Emma!" Lucy's voice rang clear, full of joy. "Look at the flowers! They're glowing too!" Indeed, wildflowers carpeted the ground. Their petals shimmered like tiny stars, flickering in unison with the ethereal light. Emma knelt down, entranced. She reached out and touched a glowing bloom. A wave of peace washed over her, filling the empty spaces in her heart. She closed her eyes for a moment, savoring the sacredness of that touch. It was as if the flowers were reminding her, in their silent way, that beauty exists in every part of creation. "Why do you think they shine?" Lucy pondered, eyes still wide with wonder. Emma considered the question, her heart warming with the little girl's insights. Maybe they shine to show us that love is everywhere, that we're never alone. She smiled, realizing that every shimmering petal spoke to the love that surrounded them, binding them to a greater purpose. But then, a hesitation gripped Emma's heart. "Lucy, do you think can we find the source of that light?" The child nodded, her small face determined. "We have to, don't we?" Emma felt the weight of that determination pressing down on her, but coupled with Lucy's brave spirit, it felt lighter. They together stepped closer, listening to the whispers coursing through the air. The trees stood tall and proud, their leaves rustling above like wings ready to lift them to a higher understanding. As they pressed on, the harmony of the night transformed.
The light whispered words of encouragement, mingling with the rustle of leaves. With each step deeper into the clearing, Emma could feel a rhythm, a heartbeat that resonated within her very soul. It was as if the universe had synchronized its pulse with hers, amplifying her faith and interests. Suddenly, the light intensified, casting everything in brilliant hues of gold and silver. At the center of the clearing stood an ancient tree, its gnarled branches reaching skyward, adorned with more luminous flowers hanging like ornaments. Emma's spirit soared. This tree felt significant. It anchored the moment and promised transformation. "What if it's a bridge?" Lucy exclaimed, pointing. "A bridge to a new place." Emma's heart leapt. Yes, a bridge between what we feel and what we're called to do. Yet as awe encapsulated them both, uncertainty pitched a subtle shadow over Emma's thoughts. What did this light mean for their lives? As Lucy gazed up at the tree, her innocent expression seemed to unravel Emma's fears, revealing the beauty in vulnerability, the hidden power in trust. But just then, a breeze swept through, swirling petals around them like spinning fairies. In the chaos, a voice emerged, the soft, thundering call of something divine. "You are chosen. You are guided." Emma's breath caught, her heart racing. "Did you hear that, Lucy?" The little girl nodded, a realization settling upon her. "It feels like it's our time to know." Emma clutched Lucy's hand, sensing the enormity of their journey ahead. What lay within the heart of the tree? What calling echoed through the air, dripping with the promise of divine revelation? Fear and anticipation entwined as they stepped closer to the heart of the light, ready to discover what awaited them. Deep inside, Emma knew that a pivotal moment was at hand, one that held the power to change everything. The call they sensed was just the beginning. What awaited them beyond that shimmering veil? What divine secrets were yet to be uncovered? As they stood before the ancient tree, a warmth enveloped them, pulsing through the very air they breathed. The light radiated, embracing them in a cocoon of sacred energy,
and Emma wondered if it held answers to the questions stirring deep within her. The branches, adorned in luminous and blooms, seemed to pulse with life, as if each petal whispered secrets of the universe. "Emma," Lucy broke the gentle silence, her voice steady yet tinged with awe. "What do you think is at the heart of that tree?" Emma closed her eyes for just a moment, drawing in the fragrant air. "I feel it's a doorway, a place where we might find what we're meant to do." With trembling hands, she traced the gnarled bark, feeling its ancient history. Every groove told a story, and she sensed they were about to step into theirs. The tree stood as a testament to time, elevated beyond mere existence. It was both wise and welcoming. Suddenly, vibrant sparks erupted from the flowers overhead.
They danced around Emma and Lucy, cascading like starlight falling from heaven. The ground beneath them hummed, and as a sense of expectation filled the air, Emma felt the heartbeat harmonize with her own, urging her forward. "Let's go closer, Lucy," Emma said, her voice steadying with purpose. Hand in hand, they stepped forward, the whispers growing clearer, melodic and heavenly. "Trust in the light," a voice echoed softly, resonating within their hearts. It was not just words, it was a promise. Lucy's eyes sparkled with the wonder that only a child can possess. "Maybe it's like a sign, like when you know you're on the right pathway." Emma nodded, captivated by the truth in the child's words. They were on a journey of discovery, veering towards their true selves. She squeezed Lucy's hand tighter, feeling the warmth and reassurance flow between them. It was a shared bond, a connection that transcended any fears. As they approached the base of the tree, moments stretched into an eternity. The light intensified, washing over them in waves, igniting their souls in a torrent of divine warmth. Each breath felt like a prayer, each heartbeat like an invitation. Emma's heart raced with excitement. She was ready to uncover the mysteries before them. Standing at the tree's base, vibrant colors enveloped them like a radiant cloak. Drawn by an unseen force, Emma and Lucy could see a hollow within the trunk, swirling with light. It beckoned, shining brightly, revealing hints of something marvelous within, a truth waiting to be uncovered, a calling yearning to be embraced. "What if it's the answer?" Lucy whispered, her wide eyes sparkling as she gazed into the glowing interior. "Or the beginning of everything," Emma replied, her heart swelling with hope. Together they leaned closer, peering into the light, their breath caught in excitement and awe. They felt the vibrant energy wrap around them, urging them to take a step further, to lean into what could be a moment of divine revelation. But as they moved, an unexpected tremor shook the ground beneath them. The tree's branches swayed gently, and a low rumble filled the air, as if the very earth held its breath. A voice emerged again, more pronounced, echoing all around them. "To know your calling, you must first let go." Emma's heartbeat quickened, sensing the weight of these words. What did letting go truly mean? Could they truly release their fears, their doubts, ready to embrace the unknown? "What do we need to let go of, Emma?" Lucy asked, her innocent curiosity cutting through the tension. Emma pondered this question, the weight of it heavy upon her heart. Was it the fear of failure, the worry of the future, or perhaps the mundane chains binding them to what they already knew? As they stood before the radiant tree, the moment hung thick with expectation. They had immersed themselves in magical light, yet Emma understood that the journey was just beginning. What lay in wait beyond the call to let go? What awaited them on the other side of fear? The answers loomed just ahead, wrapped within the heart of the luminous tree, primed to reveal the transformative power of divine love. Emma sensed it. The moment approached swiftly. But would they be ready to embrace the light and the unknown? What truly awaited them within this extraordinary journey? A silence filled the air, thick with anticipation. Emma and Lucy stood still, thoughts racing like wildfire. The vibrant glow from the tree seemed to breathe of life, inviting yet intimidating. Emma's heart pounded in rhythm with the pulsating energy, urging her to find clarity in the chaos of her emotions. But what if letting go is what we've always feared? Lucy's voice was soft, innocent, and yet profound. Emma turned to her, reflecting on the depths of the little girl's insight. Fear felt like a shadow lurking in the corners of their hearts, whispering doubts and holding them back. Yet here, standing in the embrace of divine light, those shadows started to feel thin, fading like mist at dawn.
The voice resonated once more, filling the air with melodic certainty. "Fear not, for what you seek is not lost. It is hidden within your heart." Emma's gaze drifted back towards the glowing hollow. The light flickered, as if responding to her questions, answering the unspoken prayers swirling in her heart. "Do you think we can truly step into that light, Lucy?" Emma asked, her thoughts tangled between fear and hope. Lucy gazed at the warmth emanating from the tree, her expression serious yet hopeful. "We have to. It could be our chance, our calling." Her words held an undeniable certainty that pulsed through Emma like electric currents. Taking a deep breath, Emma nodded. "Then we must let go of fear together." She squeezed Lucy's hand once more, feeling the bond strengthen, a tether woven from faith and courage. With each step they took closer to the hollow, Emma felt the weight of doubt lighten, as if invisible chains were being broken. Each pulse of light seemed to carry away a fragment of insecurity, leaving behind clarity. If they truly wanted transformation, releasing their fears was the key. When they arrived at the edge of the glowing hollow, the light shimmered invitingly, swirling like liquid gold. Emma felt a beckoning pull, urging them to lean in. Heart racing, she whispered, "We're ready." A gentle tremor vibrated through the ground, followed by a hush that enveloped them. Suddenly the light expanded, enveloping them like warm water surrounding stones on a riverbed. In that luminous cocoon, Emma could hear melodies of hope and joy resonating. It was as if the very fabric of the universe was vibrating with the symphony of divine intentions. "Close your eyes, Lucy," Emma instructed gently, and the little girl complied, confidence blooming within her innocent heart. With her own eyes shut, Emma felt a sudden rush of understanding surge through her.
Vision and clarity ignited within her, thoughts that surged like waves breaking upon the shore. Letting go didn't mean losing something precious. It meant making space for something even more beautiful. She envisioned joy, purpose, and love cascading into their lives, filling the gaps that had once been stifled by fear. A whisper floated to her ears, promising, "In letting go, embrace the divine flow." As they stood cloaked in this beautiful light, something began to unfold around them, colors blending, sounds intertwining, as if the very essence of creation was spilling forth. But then, just as quietly as it had begun, a veil descended. The golden light dimmed abruptly, casting shadows that flickered before them. What was hidden from their sight lingered with a presence that felt both daunting and exhilarating. Emma's heart raced again, uncertainty creeping in. What just happened, she wondered, her mind reeling with possibilities. "Emma, what if the light was a test?" Lucy whispered, still grasping her hand tightly. Emma felt a knot twist in her stomach. To trust was one thing, to step into this unknown realm was another. What awaited them beyond that sacred threshold? As they lingered in anticipation, the weight of unknown possibilities pressed against them. The journey was merely unfolding, revealing the greater plan that lay waiting. What would it take to step further? Just then, an echo resonated within her heart, urging her to ask, "Lord, are we worthy?" Would they find their way through the dim shadows? What awaited on the other side of this divine invitation? Emma took a breath, faith and fear intertwined, dancing in a delicate balance as they prepared for what lay ahead. A silence lingered, darker now, charged with a different kind of energy. Emma and Lucy stood on the precipice of the unknown, the air crackling like the tension before a thunderstorm. Shadows danced ominously around them, transforming the once welcoming glow into something both thrilling and terrifying. "Emma," Lucy's voice broke through, quivering slightly. "What if we're not ready?" Emma's heart swelled at the fragility of Lucy's innocence. She felt the weight of the moment heavily on her shoulders. "Sometimes being ready means taking the first step into the unknown," she replied, hoping to bolster their waning courage. Yet as she stepped forward, uncertainty clawed at her resolve. "What does it mean to be worthy?" she pondered, gripping Lucy's hand tightly. The warmth of their bond provided comfort in the face of doubt. "Maybe it's about trusting the light," Lucy offered, her eyes brightening with new determination. "It's there to guide us." Her faith shone through, brightening the dimness that surrounded them. Taking another breath, Emma realized that their fears, their trembling insecurities, were not barriers, but invitations to experience something far greater. They could choose to see the light that still flickered beneath the shadows.
"Let's remember that love always conquers fear," she whispered, drawing strength from her own words. Together they stepped forward, hearts beating in rhythm, moving deeper into the hollow. The shadows shrank around them, unable to hold their ground against the light that emanated from within. As they pressed ahead, colors began to swirl around them again, the atmosphere thick with vibrancy. It felt as though they were peeling back layers of reality, revealing a realm that sparkled with divine potential. Suddenly, the shadows coalesced into fleeting shapes, whispering temptations and doubts. "You don't belong here," they hissed, voices echoing like distant thunder. "What do you hope to find?" Yet Emma remembered the promise of the whisper before, the invitation to embrace the divine flow. "We do belong here. This is our journey," she declared, her voice cutting through the cacophony. In that moment, she let go of fearful thoughts. She traded them for clarity and purpose that surged within her. Trust, surrender, echoed through the air, resonating like a solemn vow. Then, as if summoned by their declaration, the light intensified. A wave of warmth enveloped them, washing away the shadows. Emma and Lucy stood at the center of a radiant explosion, feeling as if they were cradled by grace itself. "Do you see it, Emma?" Lucy gasped, pointing toward a vision forming in the light, a vast landscape of colors, dreams intertwining like a lush garden full of promise. "Yes, it's beautiful!" Emma exclaimed, her eyes wide with awe. But just as quickly, the scenery shifted. A large shadow loomed within the vibrant glow, a figure formed from the remnants of their fears and doubts. It towered over them, cloaked in darkness, yet pulsating with a magnetic urgency. "What do you truly seek, little ones?" The voice was deep, echoing like distant thunder. Emma's heart raced, the question hitting her soul like a striking bell. "We seek our purpose," she called out, the words flowing with conviction. The figure laughed softly, the sound like a haunting melody. "Then you shall face the choice that defines your calling." As their surroundings shifted, one last question loomed before them. Are you willing to pay the price for the truth? In the chasm of anticipation, a new force stirred within Emma, one that asked for sacrifice and growth in faith. The weight of the question hung in the air, and Emma could feel its gravity, pulling at her heart. What awaited them if they dared to answer? Would they be ready for the cost that lay behind the glowing threshold? Emma's breath caught, bracing for the unfolding mystery of their divine journey. The air shimmered as the figure's laughter lingered, a haunting note spiraling in the swirling colors around them. It hung over Emma and Lucy, heavy with expectation. They stood at the edge, the glow beckoning, yet terrifying.
Shadows stirred, almost alive, creating pathways of fear and temptation that twisted like vines, seeking to entangle their hearts. "What is the price?" Emma finally asked, her voice steadying at the brink of uncertainty. The question felt like a raw nerve laid bare, exposed to the elements. The figure shifted, its form flickering in and out like a candle's flame. "Every truth demands a sacrifice, dear children. To know your purpose, you must let go of your comforts. Embrace the unknown." Lucy tightened her grip around Emma's hand, her eyes wide, capturing every flicker of the figure's essence. "But what if it hurts?" Her voice trembled, echoing the fear that lay in the shadows. "Pain is a companion to growth," the figure replied, warmth spilling from its presence like golden rays. "But the heart that seeks light will discover strength beyond measure." The colors around them pulsed softly, creating a rhythm that mirrored their anxious thoughts. Emma felt a yearning stir within her, a longing for something greater than herself. The invisible thread connecting Lucy and her became taut, an anchor against the unknown. "Emma, we have to trust," Lucy whispered, her breath now steady, emboldened. "Together we can face anything." "Yes, together," Emma echoed, her spirit ignited by the bond they shared. "Then ready yourselves," the figure commanded. "To know the truth, to understand your calling, requires fortitude. Will you step into the light with clarity of purpose?" The air crackled again, an electric tingle surging around them. "Yes," Emma shouted, her voice ringing clear, filled with newfound conviction. "We're ready to embrace our path." With that declaration, the shadows began to recede, swirling away like mist. The light surged stronger, pouring towards them, casting away every doubt that had lingered in their souls. In the sudden flood of joy and vulnerability, a wave of warmth washed over Emma, wrapping her in comfort like a beloved blanket. As the vibrant landscape unfolded further, images of their dreams fluttered before their eyes.
They glimpsed visions of themselves helping others, creating beauty, and walking paths paved by grace. "See that?" Lucy pointed eagerly. "That's us. That's our purpose." Yet the figure loomed closer now, the ephemeral edges solidifying into a face that radiated wisdom, one that shifted between the celestial and familiar. "You may see glimpses of your destiny, but the way forward carries trials. Will you dare to act upon the truth that is revealed?" Emma felt as if the air thinned around her. She understood now that the shadows had not vanished entirely. They had simply retreated, waiting to pounce on her doubts and fears. "But what if we waver? What if we fail?" "Your journey is defined by the willingness to rise, not the absence of fear," the figure spoke, each word imbued with clouded wisdom. "It is your heart's intention that shapes your path forward."
A daunting truth wove itself into Emma's spirit, igniting both hope and trepidation. They could not turn back now. They had already stepped into a divine story unfolding just beyond their grasp. "Lucy, will you stand with me?" Emma asked, her eyes piercing through the shadows that threatened to reclaim their courage. "Always, Emma," Lucy replied, her smile radiant, filled with faith that pierced the darkness. As the brilliance washed over them, blanketing their fears, Emma and Lucy stepped closer to that glowing threshold. Their hearts beat as one, resonating with purpose, knowing that beyond it lay both challenge and fulfillment. And in that pregnant moment, with anticipation swirling like a soft wind, both girls knew they were on the cusp of a revelation that would define their very souls. What would they uncover on the other side of the light? Would they be ready to face the truth that lay waiting, just out of reach? In a world where shadows and light danced in perpetual tension, Emma and Lucy stood before the radiant tree, hearts entwined in resolve and faith. The moment crackled with divine energy. They felt like beans about to sprout, walls of doubt crumbling away. Each breath was a prayer, each heartbeat a reminder of the life thumping beneath the surface, waiting to be ignited. "What awaits us on the other side?" Emma pondered, as the golden glow enfolded them. "Maybe it's the answers to our calls," Lucy said, her small frame radiating courage. A new beginning. Together they took a step forward, hand in hand. The luminous light surged, enveloping them in warmth, washing away residual fears. The whispers of past insecurities faded, drowned by the resounding truths of purpose and love that surged from the heart of the tree. As they stepped through the threshold, the world melted away into a spectacle of radiant colors, a symphony of light and sound, painting the canvases of their souls. The air hummed with a new energy, vibrant and intoxicating. Emma felt it pulse around her, awakening silent dreams within, propelling her towards a profound calling. In an instant, the colors shifted, revealing a vast and magnificent landscape. Glistening hills flowed like waves under the sunset's embrace, blooming with wildflowers sparkling like jewels upon emerald grass. Emma's heart swelled as she pictured the potential around her, not just for herself, but for the entire village. "Do you see it, Lucy? This is where we are meant to be," Emma exclaimed, excitement bubbling within her. But the shadows loomed still, distorting here and there amongst the brilliance. A chill crept into their space, echoing doubts that had taken root long before. A figure materialized from the darkness, no longer just a representation, but a reflection of all their fears, cloaked in uncertainties. "Can you truly make a difference?" the shadow whispered, its voice a chilling breeze. Emma's heart raced. "We will."
"We have to believe that our voices matter." "Speak to them," Lucy chimed in with innocence and strength, "and they will hear." The radiant light pulsed ahead, whispering promises. Drawing strength from Lucy's unwavering faith, Emma closed her eyes and spoke into the darkness. "Our purpose calls us to serve, to care, and create. We will stand as one, kindling hope in every heart." Fire ignited within her words, and the shadows shrank, retreating before the warmth of that shining proclamation. The air was alive with energy, and the landscape shimmered brighter. Emma could see visions of herself helping others, building a future where love rules over fear. With newfound determination, the two girls pressed onward. They entered fields of compassion, buildings of community, each step echoing prayers woven into action. The villagers of the quaint English town appeared before them, smiling,
filled with awe and wonder, their spirits rekindled like forgotten fires. "Emma, Lucy," they called, "you've returned, with light in your hearts." Emma felt the joy swell, knowing the shadows had been extinguished by their collective faith. This was their calling, to guide, to love, to serve one another beneath the embrace of divine purpose. Before long, the harmony built into their community began to resonate louder, reverberating through the souls of those gathered. The whispers of doubt silenced, replaced by a choir of unified voices lifting high in loving praise. "What do we do now?" Lucy asked, her eyes sparkling with dreams yet to be unveiled. "Together we will grow," Emma replied, her heart aglow with divine clarity. "This is just the beginning." As each villager stepped forward to contribute their gifts, the atmosphere transformed. The warm bond of fellowship flowed like rivers of grace, cascading through their lives and ushering them into a vibrant existence they felt was forged to last. Emma, guided by purpose, started organizing community gatherings aimed at fostering kindness and healing, immersing them in faith and love. They offered meals and support to the needy, ensuring that every heart was warmed with hope. From that day forward, the village thrived. A marvelous symphony of joys and triumphs escaped into the world, echoing their journey of faith. Emma flourished as a mission worker, her mother's health improving, sanctified by the love that poured from her heart. "In letting go, we embraced our truth," Emma declared one evening, as children sang hymns in the gentle glow of dusk, illuminating their faces. "Forever together," Lucy echoed, their bond growing deeper in faith and love. Time weaved their stories beautifully, and as seasons turned towards countless tomorrows, Emma knew they had transformed the fabric of their lives into divine testimony, a living testament of hope, courage, and love, woven together in a tapestry of miracles.
In every sunrise that graced the horizon, there echoed the divine calling, a gentle reminder that when hearts unite in faith, nothing is impossible. As shadows dispersed, Emma and Lucy stood perennially bound to their calling, steadfast and unyielding, knowing they were eternally held in purpose's embrace. Now, dear friends, as this journey comes to its glorious conclusion, you have the chance to step into your own light. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss more exclusive faith stories that will uplift your spirits. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and ensure these truths reach others yearning for hope. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this powerful ending. Your voices matter. And share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of divine love. This is the moment to show your support. Let's spread the light of faith together. Don't wait even one more second.